tell us, where are you? I was going to introduce it to the audience. You're here at the northern border, which doesn't get as much coverage. Tell us about what you're seeing and hearing on the northern border and the need for border security up there.
Yeah, that's right, Charlie. I'm here at the northern border in upstate New York. And as you've said, Congresswoman Stefanik has been chosen by President Trump to be the ambassador to the United Nations. She has been our Congresswoman here in upstate New York for the last 10 years. And the people of our district love her. She's done an incredible job. And, so we're obviously sad to see her go, but we are proud of the fact that she is going to be one of the most important voices on the global stage. I'm here at the north border, the U.S. Canadian border. Charlie, most people don't realize that the northern border is actually in crisis. So this is known as the Swanton sector up in upstate New York. And in 2024, there were more illegal immigrants who crossed the Swanton sector than the previous 17 years combined. That is a 550% increase. And Charlie, these are not just friendly Canadians. These people came from 97 different countries of origin. And again, Charlie, it's not just people, but it's also drugs. We have seen a 29% increase in the amount of drugs being smuggled across the northern border. And this is a shocking statistic, but 75% of the terrorists, the illegal immigrants on the terror watch list who cross into our country, cross the northern border, not the southern border. So as you know, this is the result of 4 years of Joe Biden's failed open border policies. And Congresswoman Stefanik has done a great job of bringing light to this issue. But we need to stand with President Trump to secure our northern border and our southern border.
And that's why I think you would be a phenomenal congressman for that district. I want to play this piece of tape here where you did a ride-along. And again, I want everyone to understand, you might think, oh, who's coming across the border? There are some savage terrorists here. This is Cut 177. Get ready for this. This is footage. I want you guys to watch carefully here on Real America's Voice and on our streaming platforms of the people that are running across the northern border. These are stone-cold killers, some of them. Terrorists, ISIS, people that want us harm. When you think of our border invasion, you think of Guadalajara. You think of the southern border, where I live in Arizona. But understand, we have been invaded from all fronts. The northern border gets almost no coverage whatsoever because we think it's just a bunch of, very nice-talking Canadians that are trying to exchange, dollars for maple syrup or whatever. No. Listen and watch carefully. Stone-cold killers. Play Cut 177.
Where do they usually cross? Do they cross through here?
They cross here. A lot of the crossings are out back.
Okay.
And then they walk right up this road because this is technically a town road part way.
Do you guys ever feel unsafe up here?
Yeah, all the time. A lot of times. I mean, shouldn't have to. We live in the middle of nowhere.
Right, exactly.
And here we are. I got to have a security camera on my house so I can try to, I work midnights.
Right. And you got a wife and 3 kids.
Right? Yeah. And, it's a very unsettling, it's a hopeless feeling when you're at work and there's illegals walking by your house and you have no idea what these people are going to do, their intentions.
Has this always been a problem? You've always seen people growing up here and things like that?
You'd see maybe 1 or 2 every 6 months.
Okay, got it.
Maybe.
Yes.
Not 10 a night.
Yeah.
And that's what we were up to, 10, 12 a day.
Yeah.
Now, what country of origin are these, Josh? I think that's an important question. And reiterate the point that the influx of terrorists is disproportionately from the northern border. Please reiterate that very important point.
Yeah, Charlie, that's right. It is critically important to understand that, again, 75% of illegal immigrants on the terror watch list cross the northern border, not the southern border. So we don't know exactly where all of these people are coming from, but we do know that it's 97 different countries of origin. And talking to the farmer who lives on the border in that video, he was telling me, and he showed me videos of young men, military-age men crossing into the border. And the point that he made is that what they'll often do is they'll send a group of 5 or 6 migrants who want to be caught. So Border Patrol will catch them. And while Border Patrol is with those migrants, a group of others will cross into his property through the forest. And the question is why do they not want to be caught? This is not a desert in the middle of Texas somewhere. This is where this gentleman has kids. It's neighborhoods, and it's putting our communities at risk. It's extremely dangerous. And this is an issue that we face here every day. It's an issue that we didn't used to have to face, and it's just terrible for upstate New York and for our whole country. Because again, when I talk to Border Patrol agents here on the northern border, they say they are so scared every day that a terrorist is going to cross into our country and cause the nation harm. And they're sure that if that happens, it's going to be through the northern border, not the southern border.
So talk about how that impacts your hometown. I mean, New York 21, Elise Stefanik's been doing a great job. She's going to represent everybody really well at the UN. But your hometown is very rural, and with it being very MAGA. But also, there's a lot of drug issues. You have a lot of issues of depressed wages. Your hometown in some ways is a picture of forgotten America. I mean, it is the North country. Talk about the depression that has been invited into your community and how an open border of people we don't even know, where the Pakistani, Indian, 97 countries has contributed to the jeopardization of your hometown, the North country.
Yeah, that's right, Charlie. So I'm standing here again at the northern border, about 20 minutes from where I was born and raised. It's where I'm choosing to raise my 4 children with my beautiful wife, Allie. And, this is an area of the country where our jobs have been shipped overseas, our farms have emptied. It's extremely rural. And what comes behind that? Behind losing economic opportunity, drugs and despair. And so we have seen drugs come across our northern border, and we have a major opioid crisis here in New York 21. This is a beautiful part of the country. We love swimming in the lakes. We love skiing the mountains. We love hiking the Adirondack Mountains. But slowly, that way of life that we have known for a long time has been slipping away over these last 4 years. And so it is so critically important that, we deliver on President Trump's promise to put American businesses, American farmers first, to create jobs in economically depressed areas like New York 21, to continue to support our military. We're home of Fort Drum and the 10th Mountain Division, which is the most deployed division of the Army since 9/11. And so continuing to build on the gains that Congresswoman Stefanik has had for these last 10 years, reverse some of the negative results of the Biden administration, and stand with President Trump. And that's what I would do if I'm, honored to be able to serve my friends, my neighbors, my family here in New York 21. I'm going to go to Washington and fight for them and fight for the president. This district voted overwhelmingly by over 20% for President Trump. And so we need to go and deliver on the mandate, bring our jobs back, fight crime, get rid of drugs, and secure both our northern and southern borders.
So Josh, I want you to just talk more about yourself for a second here. I mean, you've actually built a business in the district. You know what it takes. Just kind of, again, you're 27, father of 4. That's, you're ahead of me here. So I gotta catch up a little bit. But I mean, but you've decided to do this in your hometown, and this is something that we talk about a lot on our show. I wrote in the book Right Wing Revolution that there's something really, I think, disturbing about this. Oh, just go move to New York City and forget your hometown. No. You've actually laid down your roots where you were born, where your parents are, where your ancestors are from.
Yes.
Even though it's more difficult, even you could have probably earned more money if you would have moved to Yonkers with your kids. That is part of the MAGA creed in the best possible way. Like, no, I want to live where my parents are. I don't want to have to go to this kind of this forced urbanization. Talk about how you built the maple syrup business into a national brand, your family, and why your home is worth fighting for, not fleeing.
That's right. Yeah, that's right, Charlie. So my background, as you know, I was born and raised here in upstate New York, about 20 minutes from the Canadian border. It's, again, where I'm choosing to raise my 4 beautiful children with my wife, Allie. And when I was 15, I started a company making maple syrup. I learned how on a school field trip when I was 11. I just thought it was cool that I could tap the trees in my front yard and make it into syrup. And so I was able to turn that passion into a business, grow it from a couple of maple trees to ending up getting on Shark Tank, selling into about 8,000 stores across the country. And it was an amazing thing. It's the American dream that I could start with, basically no money, no connections, and then be able to grow it into this national brand. I was blessed to be able to sell that business in 2020. And then in 2021, I started another company, a construction company, a totally different industry. and in 4 years was able to build it to about 100 employees, doing work all over the country. And you're right, Charlie. Here in what we call the North Country, it is my home. It's where my parents were born. It's where, again, I grew up. It's where I played hockey. It's where we go to church. And I grew up with this mentality that the North Country was a place that if you wanted to succeed, you had to leave. You had to go to Florida. You had to go to New York City. You had to move wherever throughout the country. And that shouldn't be the case. You know, we should be able to have the economic opportunity here in New York 21 to be able to build a good life as our parents did, as our grandparents did, to be able to build businesses, to be able to, work at the factory for the 30 years and retire and be able to raise our family here in this beautiful place. And again, swim in the lakes and hike the mountains, play sports, do all those things that we've done for generations here in upstate New York. It is a tough place. Today it is approximately 0 degrees, so it's cold, but we love it. We love the winters, we love the spring, we love the summer, we love the fall, and it's worth fighting for, as you said. And that's why I've, put my hat forward. I think that you and I both agree that good people with common sense and real world experience need to go to Washington and actually stand up for what we believe in, or else we're not going to have a country anymore.